What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. This is Patrick, Netzo, and Paul coming to you guys from Pro Traders Lounge. Here to discuss today's FOMC price action with you guys, go over hopefully we get some volatility. As a brief introduction to you guys who are not familiar with us, and real quick, I'll just let you know, we're going to be going over some Bitcoin data today, what we're looking at, high time frame, mid time frame. If you're not familiar with who we are, we have actually just hit our 1-year anniversary, and statistics that we are compiling have shown that we have become one of the premier live trading groups available that I know of and that I've ever seen. We're trading everything from Bitcoin. As you can see, we're providing high time frame updates, low time frame updates. If you guys are into Elliott waves, we have updates from experts that are coming in constantly. I mean, amazing stuff. Even I'm learning Elliott waves through our tutorial videos, but I am not yet an expert at that yet. Myself and Netzo, I know we are heavily involved in the altcoin market. As you can see, we cover a plethora of these altcoins each and every day. And I mean, we're honest and we're transparent. And you don't get that very many places. This is here yesterday. I'm showing that we have an area of interest. If we get a rejection, take the short. If we slice through it with a lot of volume, look for the back test long. I was very honest today where we hit it. We got a 14% plus drop. And yeah, I slept through my alert. I missed the move. You know, we're honest, we're transparent, but hopefully some of our members caught that move and they were able to take advantage. But in addition to cryptocurrencies, we also have several experts. One of us is here with us, and Paul, in the stocks and Forex markets. We're covering everything from individual stocks, indexes, currencies, commodities, you name it, we're covering it. We're covering it, and we're honestly covering it successfully. And then the cherry on top is that we do teach the methods by which we find all of our trades. So, you know, that's what the lounge is about. We're here to learn and we're here to help you earn. That's who we are and what we do. In addition to all of our postings, we do have over a dozen live events every single week happening. I mean, to help guide our members through the markets, relay these trades, because sometimes just a chart's just not enough. You need to get some context. You need to know like what the conditions are specifically for this to be hit, and that's what these sessions are all about. As you can see, we got Netzo coming up in under an hour. So happy to have you here with us, Netzo, joining us before one of his live sessions. So that is enough about us, who we are. Now, what are we looking at on Bitcoin? I'm going to go through my high time frame analysis quite clearly because I'm not bragging here. I'm just stating facts. We have been absolutely destroying this downtrend at Pro Traders Lounge. Just absolutely nailing it. Not saying everything that we do is perfect, but in this particular instance, we've traded Bitcoin from the high and mid time frame with a fair degree of accuracy. And up at the highs here, if you go ahead and check out, you'll see my Twitter link in the description. I have a video. Netzo and I were in a live session. We sniped this high live. You can see the reasons why we took the trade. That level was pre-planned. You can see we had this planned ever since we came back into this old channel here that was established, you know, May, June of 22. We had, as soon as we came back into the channel, we had this level labeled as something we wanted to take a short at. Go and check out the video. It speaks for itself. I can, you know, don't take my word for it. Go see for yourself exactly what we do and how we help our members out catch these trades. Now, after we got the rejection, we essentially just rotated through the range, a couple of bearish partial rotations. Essentially, we couldn't get to the upper part of the range again. Now, I had 3190 labeled as a high time frame key level. Those of you who are familiar with my work know what this means, but it's this, you know, our level right here. Value area high of our drop down. Won't go into too much detail on that, but it was my key level. And once we spent some significant time below it, I was looking for a liquidity grab. Again, don't take my word for it. Go look in the past. We call these things out as they're happening. I post these live in the moment in the lounge when the levels are hit. We tell them we've taken the short. We have invalidation above the high, and we will react if we get an SFP, which is basically going above the highs again. We let them know in the moment. So that's another short that we took. Got a nice rejection from our key level. And honestly, you can see why it was a key level. Once it was definitively lost, had a slight retest, dropped like a stone. And where did we go? Simply retested our old range that we established, again, in the middle from 22 to 23. Just retested that range a couple of times now. You can see every time we've bounced off that range has been a good buying opportunity. That's been, obviously fairly apparent. It's not too difficult. That's why Bitcoin's been easy to trade, because if you've been patient, it hasn't been that complicated. And then lastly, we had this little scalp short at the uncleared impulse. So that's just our local short. And this is something you had to be in the lounge. I just posted this in the lounge. I mean, we had essentially, when you have a level, a point of control of this entire move up, and it gets sliced through like this on the way down. I teach this in one of my strategy videos. It's going to get a reaction when you revisit it in the opposite direction. Hence, we were looking at that for our short. Resistance area was tapped, scalp short was engaged, and we rode that down. Now, this is where I got to kind of give a shout out to my man Paul, because I saw a reason to take profits on a short down here. I had it labeled as just the SFP long level. I clearly communicated this. And again, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm honest with the members. Even though I took profits on my short, I didn't take a long down here. I said I will trade a bounce and reclamation of the range. We got a bounce, back tested our range perfectly, which is where I hopped in, and we've gone up ever since. I also offered if you're really conservative, extremely conservative, I did offer a kind of a confirmed trade that we're in the midst of right now. Essentially, if we can claim this level, which at this point we did, back test it, enter here, and we hit the TP level. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it. That's what's happened on Bitcoin. And then locally, from a mid-time frame perspective, what we're looking for reactions. And again, this can be either a rejection or it gets sliced through and you want to trade the long when it bounces back, is we either come up to retest our old range, taking out that high, grabbing that liquidity and heading down, or vice versa. We make another trip to retest this range, grab liquidity at the lows. We do have a reason to do so. Again, those of you familiar with my strategies know what I'm talking about, but that is a level that I would keep an eye on for a bounce. But you have to be careful, because if we do go and bounce down there, there could be the possibility that we reject and remain within the range and continue on down. It is a possibility. So we do have to have multiple scenarios planned. We do have reasons for these scenarios. And these areas are what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I'm hoping we can get a little volatility today, take out some local highs or lows. If we do, I'll go through them live with you with the order flow. I'm going to let Paul and Netso show you what they're looking at first, but we're not quite there yet. We've actually got some alerts set up for you all and for us as well. If we get some important alerts, Paul has got a great resource for us on First Squawk that we're going to be providing updates on any of the announcements that are going on with FOMC. So if we get any announcements and volatility, I'll go over some of the order flow with you. But at this point, I would like to pass it over to my man Paul, again, who had the competence to really heavily long that 25K low. And to that, I have to give you a round of applause. I truly do.
Thank you,
well
sir.
Done.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, let's just look over that. Going into that, I've been pretty sure about this trade for a while. I think back in August, I was looking for this to play out. Simply for me, and this is where the beauty of Pro Traders Lounge is, we've all got very different opinions, different strategies, and you put them together, and you do really get the best from us. And with myself, I think if you want to look through my Twitter profile, you'll see some of the calls on that. I'm not going to go through them all, but measure me by the calls on my Twitter. You'll find that, probably 80, 90% of them are right. Of course, I'm a trader. Some of them are wrong. I'm not going to deny that. But measure me by my calls and the timestamps there. So this was what I was looking for back in middle of August. I was looking for this to play out. So here we are on Bitcoin at the moment. Obviously, we sort of this back in August, we were sort of down at this area. I was expecting it to come down again and retest these lows. And I do believe that if you look at the last public video we did, I was looking for 25,000 to be the level that held. I think we came down to about 24.9 and took a bounce. I obviously took a long down there, and there we can see the long that we took there, which we took live on YouTube, by the way, with you guys, and called this live on YouTube. So that's something we did. Something else that we've done slightly more recently. Let's look at this. The S&P 500. This was a setup in the lounge given on, what day was this? This was Friday the 15th of September. I was looking for this harmonic to play out. Posted that live in the lounge here, as you can see, which was on this day here. So the screen's 15th of September. So yeah, I was looking for a short first level here. And then obviously you're going to let your winners run. So here we are as well. And a really nice move down locally. Not to mention the fact that we were looking for the short from much higher that we posted, but we do give local scalps as well. And that was one that we gave recently. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to jump back to Bitcoin where we're at the moment. So this is what this is
a
range.
Beautiful trade, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but that was a beautiful trade. Unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Top notch.
Really nice invalidation, and it's still running this very same trade. So and I think those that have been watching Dookie and myself and Trader R and other people that trade stocks, we're doing setups like this 2-3 times a week, the stocks and forex sessions, focusing on not just the indices but stocks as well. So yeah, sorry, I jumped out of my screen then. So yeah, just have a look through Twitter, follow us all on Twitter, get an idea of what we're doing, and most importantly, come and visit us locally on Bitcoin. Well, what are we looking for? This is the range I've been trading locally on Bitcoin. I'm not going to deny I'm still in my long from the lows and expecting higher until I've been validated otherwise. So I'm still seeing, fairly strong momentum at the moment. There's nothing bothering me about this market structure at the moment. So I'm still in this long and expecting higher. I have a few levels set out above. I'm not going to share those right now, but I think you can see locally I'm looking for a bit of a bounce off this level potentially. Today we should get a bit more volatility. At the moment, interest rates have been left the same, so there's been no real change. That's been sort of announced by the FOMC, but we will have a bit more volatility, I think 10-15 minutes when the Fed chair starts speaking. But we're sort of pretty much where we started 10-15 minutes ago. One last one that we gave in the lounge as well was this oil setup. We set the oil top here. This was using one of the other traders' strategies that I also use as well. But we called the top here on oil, and we've now seen a nice 3% move down on oil. And we gave this, I think, a couple of days ago. So yeah, just going through what we've done basically. So yeah, that's me for now. I'm shouting about what we're doing and what we're expecting going forward. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I'm expecting. Absolutely. Yep.
I'm gonna hop off in half an hour, so yeah, I probably won't go over any past TA. So honestly, we're just gonna take a look at the range, where we are, what we can expect. Give me a second. So, all right. So there was a free stream on Twitter that I posted, so on our channel. And maybe if you guys know me from Twitter, you know that I love volume profiles, and I really do rely on them quite a lot, especially on high time frame. We're back here where we were. I already talked about having some sort of bigger head and shoulders potential here. Just because I wanted a bigger range here. Just looking by the volume profile, it seemed like we should have at least some small range, or maybe get even above to where we got some really nice liquidity resting. So a lot of highs that still weren't taken, especially if we go lower on lower time frame. You can just see how much we got here imbalances. A lot of liquidity here that we still haven't. So again, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. I mean lower high. Sorry. So just lower highs constantly. We did take out a little bit here, but still, I think there's a lot of liquidity resting here. Honestly, that's why I was talking about this on the free Twitter video that we posted. But yeah, where you might expect this price to go, and this is something I constantly repeat myself. So once you come back into a range, you are almost definitely bound to go at least to the point of control, or where I prefer it, to the value area high of the range. So if we just go lower on just the current range, so as PC said, he was back then asleep, or basically he didn't go in long here. I also didn't have any levels here, honestly. But once we got some impulse moves, once you got this impulse move up, I mean, what do you firstly look? So you look for the price to come back into the range. So basically, I did not enter here, and basically wasn't even monitoring the price. But I think I was looking at the price here, did not enter, but that's okay. I mean, we try here to learn our members, so you don't have to get the low, you don't have to get the exact high. We do get lots of them, but not always. I mean, probably no one on this world gets all the trays, all the lows, all the highs. Definitely not. But what you want to see are reclaims back, and this is your potential entry. So honestly, I missed this whole move, but where I entered was basically coming back. You can see where the value area low is, and what did you do once we came above and came back into the range? What did you do? You basically just backtested the value area low, and this was my safer entry. So you can see how clean this is, coming backtesting the value area low. And what is your main profit target, bigger profit target? Again, value area high, where we came fairly quickly inside. So this was again 4% move, and from there on, I don't have to talk about it. So the price went up. So this is basically where we were. Again, once you break an area, you can just see from here, what did we do? So we broke the value area low of the previous range, and where do you consolidate? We had some previous support, some order block that we were looking at, but what did you reclaim? You reclaimed basically the value area high, backtesting the order block that was previously resistance, coming backtesting it, and just pushing up. So basically nothing was bearish at that time for me to say, okay, I'm probably gonna short it hard. So yeah, okay, enough of that. So let's check out the chart where we are. if we check out, what was that thing that I was, so if we check out the imbalances, so this is something that we regularly use. So we got a ton of imbalances at the highs and the lows. This is something that we have strategy-wise, where the price is kind of drawn like a magnet. Honestly, where I'm probably looking for a trade would be a liquidity grab, clearing all the imbalances. Of course, order flow imbalance is not candle-wise. So looking for a decent trade once this little high is taken. What do we have as confluence there? Also a lot of VWAP trading. You can see how much that resistance was. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. This one got a little bit sliced with the liquidity grab drawn, but you got 4 decent short trades from this one, and it is coming back at the area of that liquidity grab. Honestly, also having, I think it was a naked daily point of control above us. Yeah, you also have a volume point of control. The time point of control already got cleared with that week. I filled some single prints, and basically you are coming also in that area. So honestly, what I'm still looking for is, as Paul said, a little bit higher, but if the price goes down, we already got that already planned. But honestly, as I said, my preferred scenario would be coming back maybe even to those highs. So this would probably mess up a lot of traders. Again, getting that ultra bullish momentum, coming back up here, making that potential head and shoulders, coming maybe down, faking out from the neckline. Basically, a lot of exchanges do not have this wick. I just use this one for drawing, but I don't like that wick that we made. So let's say pretend that the wick is not here, and we could have a decent fake out or maybe lower to our next levels. But honestly, this would wreck a lot of people, but just because open interest has been rising on every rise, so you can see just why traders are getting wrecked all the time, why we are getting those bar patterns. You can see open interest like rising massively. A lot of limits get filled, spot get distributed, and you get that flush back down. Honestly, what's open interest doing now is something that I really like. Usually, when you get stagnated open interest, so no major rises, no major drops, is usually when traders just say, okay, I mean, I don't want to trade this. This is too choppy. I got stopped out a lot of times here in this range, and when open interest consolidates like this usually get a decent move. Just because a lot of people are scared, they want to move into the next range, into their next levels. Also, if we check out price wise, I mean, even for me, I have a lot of screen time, but even for me, this is a lot of choppy here. Honestly, just looks like they are preparing for some sort of move, just taking liquidity, taking up, taking low. So indecisive currently. So yeah, if I can wrap it up quickly for Bitcoin, is honestly what I would be looking at. Would be looking at a reaction on the VWAP mid-band, taking out a little bit of that liquidity. Oh, we have the point of control still left there. On the chart, we have a decent amount, a really decent amount of volume here above us. So honestly, I don't know why we couldn't have at least a decent scalp trade off of that. But if not, as I said, we are prepared for some middle levels in between here. But my wish, which we cannot always have, but you have to have some sort of plan in trading, especially on high time frame, would be, as I said, coming back, maybe just taking that liquidity, making a potential move, grabbing a little bit of that liquidity, because on lower time frame, as you may know, we do have kind of bigger trend lines that still haven't been broken that much. So you got one, you got liquidity grabbed, but you got still the bigger trend line here. Kind of got tapped perfectly here. So a lot of liquidity still resting from the trend line side. And wouldn't shock me if we would do, as I mentioned, something like this, grab the liquidity, and just continue back up. If we lose again some major key support, if we start to backtest it, get some bearish CVD. Honestly, CVD has been bullish for almost all the time. You can just see before we started to rise here at 26K. So this was, I think, the area where we were backtesting the value high. So this was kind of a major confluence for the long trade. So again, if we pull the volume profile from this range to here, where we had the value area high, you could see basically this was 26.4, and with this was basically this range. And you can, I mean, just by looking at it, you can see from the price low, higher low, and you can see just the CVD grinding down. That's why we got also that major push, open interest rise, and then just that instant flush, because a lot of bigger players were coming in, potentially retail, which got instantly flushed down. So yeah, honestly, for now, just chopping around, liquidating people. I don't see anything major from my side. So just keeping an eye on especially when news comes out. I honestly don't want to trade. It's not, I mean, you don't have to, because the market is too volatile for me. Lots of weeks, probably potentially all, I mean, areas don't get that much respect on news because they have a ton of squeezes. So those weeks can go past your invalidation and you get stop loss for, I mean, for nothing. So the main thing you have to have in trading is basically, and the main thing we try to learn is have patience. And don't trade when you don't have to. It's basically not something, I mean, nobody is rushing you into losing money. So have your prepared setups, have your prepared areas. Once they get hit, then we look at order flow. Is it confirmed? Is it not? But trading this chop here, honestly, not needed. So yeah, the first area, as I said, anchored VWAP. Do we go up? Looking for that value high of the range, which is coming back, I think, at 29.6 if it goes back, because you also have a decent retail support area. So just by looking at these wicks, you can just see how much this was support and resistance area. So coming back into the lower part where we also have a lot of volume in that area, so we are having the value area high. So honestly, if that breaks, I'm looking for that liquidity with the head and shoulders potential. And yeah, that's probably it from my side. So
Dude, Neto, what you said about patience, man, that's like the biggest takeaway from this. If you guys have seen anything, the premium Bitcoin trades you gotta wait for. We're showing you high time frame charts here. We're not showing you 15-minute, 5-minute. I mean, you really got to be patient, and that's a reason why I know Netzo and I are so involved in the altcoin market. Gives us a lot of moves when we're waiting on Bitcoin to hit areas of interest, because we don't want to trade, middle of the range chop. Or like right now, it's kind of a no man's land. It's above support, below resistance. So I just need to see which way it breaks. Get more data. In the meantime, got a nice low cap scalp going from earlier today. But I haven't touched Bitcoin because Bitcoin requires patience. It really does.
yeah, agree. Honestly, I mean, if you manage to trade more assets, because I was back then a scalp trader, but not really preferred. It takes you a lot of time through the day. You have to be constant monitoring the price. Usually it's not areas of interest, but looking at order flow, discrepancies. So that takes a lot of time. So I'm just basically focusing on day trading, swing trading, and that's where usually you can diverse your assets you're trading. So Bitcoin, alts, Nasdaq, DXY, gold, especially, and you have daily. You have like your whole schedule filled. Lots of times, many alerts come. You have time to prepare, look at order flow. They're not like 10 assets at the same time. So all the alerts are popping up. Mostly not. You have time to separately trade each trade that you prepared, manage to check out order flow. So honestly, that's the best trading, in my opinion, for now. So not that stressful. You know you're in validation. Will you enter? You will not. So you have time. They're not second trades. You have like maybe minutes, sometimes maybe hours ranging in that area, and you can enter or just ladder in your trade. So honestly,
hell, even if you're like 12 hours late, like we were to the low, you can get in on the range, reclaim, buy the bottom of the range, get a nice bounce. The invalidation's really tight, so the risk is minimal. I mean, just because it's conservative, it doesn't mean it's low probability.
yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, honestly, let's check out maybe DXY. What's
Should start seeing a little bit more volatility now, guys, with the Fed chair speaking, doing his speech. So we should see the charts moving a bit more now. I would have thought there was no expectation changed when it came to the Fed rate decision, but now we're going to hear the Powell speak and should get some volatility and take us to our next anticipated levels on both the S&P and potentially Bitcoin and some other assets that we've got lined up to trade.
Actually, the one index I'm keeping my eye on, I'll pass it on over just real quick, is the NASDAQ. I just know that the high that was put in is a real nice SFP region, and that's just called a swing failure pattern, basically going back above these highs to grabbing stop losses and coming back down. But from a volume perspective, if price can just get back, start really pushing back above 15,275, and again, obviously at 15,450, I really think it's got a chance to sweep these highs if we get a nice volatile day.
Nice.
That's what I'm looking for in the NASDAQ. Just me personally.
What's that area?
Nice.
1.5.
Like 15,650 to 15,750. Let's just call it roughly. I have my alert set on the 15,650. I'd look to be entering around like 700 to 750, roughly.
Point of control has shifted. If you take out the whole range from June, just the point of control, you can see the point of control shifted to where we are kind of rejecting now. Let's see how this unfolds.
But yeah, I'm happy to wait. I'm just happy to wait for the high probability areas. I'll be patient. I got other assets I can day trade. That's what altcoins are for, right?
Absolutely.
I trade some of the most low cap trash you guys have never heard. I've never heard of until literally I just get in, I check the technicals, I have my entry requirements, I get in, give me a nice 10, 20% move, and then I'm asking around. I'm like, has anybody heard of this damn thing? Because I've never heard of this coin before. I think that happened 2 days ago. I shorted something, got a nice 10% drop, and I'm like, does anybody know what this is? I just entered because of the technicals, because of what the data and the volume said. But yeah, we get into everything again. A little bit of everything. It's good to be diversified across the market. You never know what's going to happen in crypto. Stocks have been nice and volatile, and if you're a range trader, trading rotations back and forth as opposed to waiting for the home runs, if you've been cashing in on the singles and doubles, you've been cleaning up in this market like we have. I see NASDAQ's just trying to push. See Bitcoin's trying to push as well.
Yeah, we're getting a nice push down on oil as well from the highs that we gave in the group a couple of days ago. So oil's pushing down really nicely now, down nearly 3 or 4% from our level given in the group. Let's hope that continues down. I'm expecting a fair bit lower on oil. Those of you that trade in the group with us will know what the next level is that we're looking towards. But yeah, certainly looking for a bit more downside on oil. So far, we're getting that today. Yeah, seemingly S&P just ranging a little bit, to be fair. And Bitcoin moving up to the next level that I have in mind personally.
It's moving. It's moving with longs, but it's not. It's not like.
She's very, very slow.
We're getting some longs in.
Not a very. It's more of a squeeze than I would say a real pump at the moment. More shorts getting out of their positions.
Yep, have a target of 27.7 that I think we'll probably hit today. Hopefully, from that's the target I'm looking for as a next take profit for me, and potentially hedge this short that the long that I've been in with a short. So let's see if we can get up there, the squeeze or whatever. S&P.
Oh, here we go. Powell. Inflation has moderated somewhat. Expectations are well anchored. Strongly committed to returning inflation to 2%. Well, I would hope so. What else is he going to say? I kind of want it to happen, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know.
That's it.
Let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on Bitcoin order flow. Just pop over real quick. Nothing really to report. Like I said, you get a little just small increase in longs. I mean, not enough to, like, I'd say, trap them. I mean, I wouldn't say that many people got trapped. This is just more a reflection of the retail market, not a aggregate total, but it does reflect it fairly well. This data does. And it just seems that maybe shorts are that's what's causing this move up at the moment. Not really seeing tons of long aggression. Daily CVD, cumulative volume data, is sitting, there's roughly around 1 million. It might as well be zero, honestly, like just even. Nothing to write home about. I wouldn't be hopping into any positions on Bitcoin, just waiting at the moment.
Yeah, Patrick, what I would like to say is that if any of you out there listening are people that are trading on every word that Powell says or hoping to catch him saying the right thing or buying because you've seen the green candles going up, then you need to come and see us. You need to come and see us. Well, look, there's nothing wrong with that. We all started like that. And I can tell you 10 years ago, that's the sort of thing I was doing. You should be having your levels ready. And you should know what levels that you want to long and short before this speech, and sit on your hands till it hits your level or till you see order flow, depending on the type of trader you are. If you're trading like that, then you're doing it wrong. I can categorically tell you you're doing it wrong. So just come and join us or follow us on Twitter and see what we're about, and come and learn and get your levels before these type of events. Don't try and jump on a green candle or a red candle. That's just not the way you should do it.
And I mean, there's times to be predictive. There's times to be reactive, but you got to know what the environment you're in. You got to know what kind of trader you are. I mean, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You got to be honest with yourself. If you want to succeed, you got to work towards your strong suit. Obviously, it sounds simple, but not everyone does it. They're always looking for something new, you know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If Powell says now that I'm putting interest rates up to 10%, trust me, I don't think everybody's jumping in the shop, but that's not the way to do it, is it? Right? I mean, it's there are ways and means, and we know this type of news expedites the price action generally, and generally, I'm speaking generally here, but that's for those of you that are listening and trading like that.
This is interesting.
I've done that.
This is interesting. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below trend growth. Huh. Some softening of labor conditions. No kidding. No kidding.
Bit of a warning that's up to there that it's going to get harsh before it gets better.
I mean, anyone that just takes a look at the S&P monthly chart and sees anything going straight up for 13 years, you're going to get some kind of a retrace once the you know the cause of that rise ceases to exist, which it has. Yeah, if we were going to get some below trend growth, I think that's an understatement.
PC, can you share my screen?
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to go over something, and I want you all to push up the likes, please. And then I'm gonna probably just leave you guys, and you can continue with the stream. So basically, what I noticed on Bitfinex spot, so what they like to do, they like to accumulate spot little by little, and you can see this limit wise. So you can see here one limit got filled, one limit, the next limit got filled, and so on and so on. So this was a nice range. You got another limit, got filled, another limit got filled. So just constantly just pushing down, filling the limit. Limit, pushing down, continue back into the range. So here they acquired probably hundreds and hundreds of worth of spot Bitcoin. And what is now currently happening, just here, you can see we got a range. Again, you got limit, got filled, limit, got filled, limit, now still waiting patiently. So honestly, yeah, a limit here, but what happened back here, you see probably they were done with accumulation, you got that big pump up. So yes, if somebody has order flow and wants to check out, Bitfinex has been a lot of help. Just I can give you an example that we were looking at New York close, I think last week, and we marked our two areas. So where people bought a lot of Bitcoin, so 350 here and 220 here. What do? We mark those areas, and you can see just how much these areas get respect. So you dove into that area again, push up to the upper part, you can see again coming back into that, and nobody's so they are protecting their positions. Honestly, I probably think that this guy was similar as this one because he was market buying and trying to sustain the price. And once you broke all of this, you can see where we basically every time we went down into that area where the big buy happened. So he was protecting again his assets and was moving the price and protecting it. So again, you went into the area, moved up. You went into the area, moved up. Into the area, moved up. So constantly, little by little, he's trying to protect that price. If that guy is again the guy which is filling the limits, or maybe it's some retail boy with a lot of money, that we shall see. But from past history, if we just start to fill a lot of those limits and do not get distributed, maybe he finds out in the meantime that there will be some bearish news and he unloads everything. But if not, if he sustains the accumulation, you could see another decent push up. So just if anyone is looking at Bitfinex, just keep an eye on this. Just as a hint, and of course the big volume areas, as you can see here, that were sustained by the bigger player that bought all the spot position worth of Bitcoin. So yeah, that's all for me. And again, push up the likes. I hope you enjoyed the stream with me, and I leave you with Paul and PC, and you do your thing.
Thanks for coming on, Netso, man. Appreciate it, bud. Catch you in the session tomorrow, I think.
And have a nice day, a nice evening. Thanks everybody for listening to me.
See you, brother.
Bye bye.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, so what I'm seeing, I'll go ahead and pull my screen up here. I mean, sideways Bollinger Bands, and you know, this is no secret, I hope, to any of y'all, but they can offer nice clues. The higher the time frame, the better the data. Obviously, 12-hour daily. But you can see we had a nice Darth Maul when you have wicks, a tall wicks on both sides with heavy volume. Nice little dot. That was to suck people in. It's just price is building liquidity right now. You can see it's rotating back and forth, trying to get people to long up here, trying to get people to short down here, and it will eventually take liquidity in one form or another, either in continuation or a reversal. And your job is to trade when liquidity is being taken. You don't want to be someone who's entering when liquidity is being gathered, unless you're getting a premium position, an absolute high or an absolute low that you can, obviously have a very tight invalidation. But yeah, this could just remain range bound. I don't really see anything in the volume of today that's telling me that besides a massive short entered. But again, we had some longs come in, told you it looked weak, dumped. We had a massive short come in, getting a small rise. It's just a matter of keeping an eye on continuation. One thing I would say, let me take these Bollinger Bands off, is that the way I analyze price and a lot of my trading strategy revolves around it. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this level right here is important, just over 27K. That's and you can see it's tried to break through several times on the hourly chart, can't seem to close multiple candles below it. If it does close multiple candles below it, or if we get some kind of break with high volume, a really impulsive move, preferably with longs closing. Studying volume as much as I have, I found that you get the really good drops when lots of longs are closing more so than when shorts are piling in. So if we get a really good high volume move with lots of longs closing, bam, break the level, it's over an 85% chance that we're going to come down to this point of control level here, 26,580. So personally, now again, just to reiterate, I've got several shorts running from all over the place. Not really looking to grab every single rotation, but I do need to guide our members through price action because not everyone's grabbed every high and every low. So then we got to make sure we're providing trades for those people as well. So in this instance, what I'd be looking for would be some kind of, at least, you got to just look at it on the hourly. It's having trouble on the hourly. So let's wait for at least an hourly, again, high volume move. You can gauge that through order flow. If we see longs just falling off a cliff, that's good from a reversal to the downside perspective. But either that or close a couple consecutive candles below this level. We could do a little chopping around here, come down, back test this level. Let's go ahead and just mark it out. Why don't we do that? Be easier for everybody, right? Make things nice and easy. So that's kind of like the level to watch right now. Is right around, again, 27K. What you'd want to do is look for the rejection and ride it down to the point of control where you take heavy profits. Boom, boom. That would be your payday. You take profit zone. Ultimately, you could look to ride it down here. You don't close it. We always keep a little bit open. Good point in case in that is the current short I'm in locally, high time frame locally. This guy right up here. So this is one where it's a local short, so I've got to take profits every leg of the way down. Now the one from up here, this is just sitting pretty until I may take profits on it down here. For again, reasons that you'd have to be in the lounge to understand. A high time frame plan that I'm thinking may be coming into play. But I would take profits on that down here. But this short, I got to take profits every leg of the way down. Not only every leg of the way down, when we see strength, we have to, what I call, scale out of positions on the way back up. It's essentially just taking profit in reverse. And for me, it was a level 20 right here, around 26, I think I had 26,700. That's where I scaled out of some of my short. This guy right here. This short, I took profits here, I took it here, I took it here, I took it here. 4 very nice TPs, but I still had a decent remainder left. For me, it's multiple Bitcoins in the double digits. It's a good remainder left. if it's going to show signs of strength, I want to cash some out. So I also took another round of profits right here. After we had closed, made the attempt to break through the old range highs, closed above, and when we came back tested, bam. That to me, it's holding as support. I'm going to scale out of my short. So I'm still in it. It's just a slightly smaller position, and like a take profit in reverse. So you've got to change with the data. You can't be stuck in one singular mindset. Because I would love for this region down here to get tapped, but I need to be able to recognize the signs of that not happening. And I need to have a plan if that's not happening to react, to communicate to the members, and to make some paper money for everybody. So yeah, again, the level we're watching, you can see right here. We've already made the attempt into it. That's on the 12-hour. Let's go back down to the 1 hour here. Our value area high, local value area high. If we can break through it, look, be patient. Good trades require patience. And this is one where you want to wait for the back test, short it on down to point of control. Nice and simple. But for now, let's go ahead and check out order flow. All right, this is what you want to see with the kind of drop that we're talking about. You want to see longs closing. Now, a lot of people who try to read order flow, they overemphasize two things: CVD, local CVD, and net shorts. Those are often overanalyzed. I've found that if you've hit resistance, you're in a good downtrend, longs are closing at a quick pace, I don't care how many shorts are piling in. You may get short-term liquidity grabs where it just is a quick bounce and you get the 100Xers, who leveraged everything at the lows. You'll get a small $100, $200 rotation, but then it usually just kind of continues right along its path if longs are closing. So do not stare at these shorts assuming they have to be squeezed. They don't. If longs get scared and close out, we will drop. That's what I've found. If you're looking at watching order flow, that is something I found to be tried and true. So that's what I'm looking at over here. Again, nothing too much to report on Bitcoin, just a liquidity grab in both directions. If we come back into our area of resistance, our interest really, it's support right now. We come back into there, I'll pop back over, take a look at the order flow. But for now, I'll go ahead and just pass it back over to Mr. Paul and see what he's got for us.
No problem. Yeah, so not an awful lot to report, really. Some nice moves down on oil, again, that we called. So yeah, we're down 3-4% on oil from the highs that we were looking for in the group. So nothing groundbreaking there. Could say that this good old head and shoulders pattern's playing out here. I do like a good old head and shoulders pattern on the legacy markets because they do tend to play out quite nicely. To be fair, so we've got this playing out at the moment. She's going to give us pretty much our next level that we're looking for in the lounge. To be fair, so yeah, this is looking nice and bearish there. S&P again, just moving down as expected, as anticipated, and no real shock there when we've been calling the high since back in July, and we've yet to make a higher. This is where I get tongue tied. We've yet to make a higher high, so we've got a lower high, lower high, lower high. I mean, if this is not making you feel slightly more bearish and want to trade to the downside, then I don't know what is. Look, this is not bullish market price action. And for me, I'm not a fundamental trader, but these moves tend to happen towards the end of a cycle of interest rate increases. And look where we are now. Everybody's hoping we're towards the end of a cycle. But yeah, just more downside on the ES is what I see. I see us coming down at least and testing this level of 4367. Again, I'll be surprised if we don't come down and test that. If not, move below it. To be fair, yeah, that's it. That's really the only update I can give you in terms of Bitcoin. Just not a lot of volume really about. To be fair, I'm quite surprised at the lack of volume. In all honesty, looking at the order flow. But where are we? Pretty much exactly where we started, to be fair, on Bitcoin. Good old Bitcoin, she's been very slow for the last couple of months. It's been quite a slow asset to trade, which is why in the lounge we are trading different assets such as altcoins and stocks and shares, and yeah, we're getting some better moves. I'm not going to drag you through them all, but please again look at our Twitter, look at PC's Twitter, look at my Twitter, Nexo's Twitter, and you'll get a feel for what we've been doing and what we can do. And come and check us out in the lounge. More importantly, as well. So yeah, there's.
If you look, you look at our Twitter, you realize that we give the trades out as quickly as we can after we've kind of hit our areas of interest, because I mean, we got to keep the good stuff for our members. I mean, telling them when it's happening in the moment, the pre-plan levels. I mean, you check my posts, half the time after I post that I've entered into a setup, it'll keep running in that direction. You can follow them after the fact and then go with the trend. But yeah, and this I'll actually just show you guys something I'm looking at right now, a little bonus for you, just because we are again fairly stagnant on Bitcoin. This is like Paul said, the volume's really nothing. We just grabbed liquidations on really both sides of this small little wick. That's all we've done. TRB, the trade I missed earlier. So I have the area of interest marked out, this specific box, as a reason. It has to do with the volume profile up here. There is a nice high volume node. I wouldn't mind seeing tapped. So if we can get that live, that's something I would look to do one of two things. Either because it's a high funding, a lot of people are shorting it. If we can get a rejection from the upper side of our area of interest, maybe even a slight wick through, I'd be okay with that. I'd be willing to short that. And then if we find support corollary, I'd close that at even or for a small loss, look for some kind of back test long, because it's, again, an area of interest. You really have to gauge the reaction. And here, I mean, you could have waited for the hour to close. You can see how precise these levels are. You just wait for the hour to close. You see it's right in the bottom. As I always tell members, if you miss the wick, don't look for a mid-hour trade. Look for the wick in the next hour. This is where you should have entered that trade if you're looking for it. That top wick going right back into our area of interest, and then you get the immediate 14% drop that I unfortunately missed, but hey, as long as some of our members profited from it, then that's fine by me. But currently, we are holding this as support. So as long as this holds as support, these highs have the potential to be taken out. My area of interest to the top side still has a chance to be hit, and we can catch that for a nice scalp short. But yeah, that's just something we're looking at on Teller right now. NASDAQ's plummeting nicely. Bitcoin's fairly dead. Yeah. Yeah, I guess one thing I could go over with you guys while we're waiting on Bitcoin is a little higher time frame. Kind of what I'm looking at, because you can't always think locally. You got to think, what I said, you got to think globally, right? You can't just think about today and tomorrow, because those aren't always going to offer the best trades. Like those premium trades, those only really happen a couple times a year, where you get those really, really just perfect trades. And what I like, where's my HT, here we go, short zone. If we can manage to get like a liquidity grab to the upside, and I'm not saying it has the fuel to do so, but it's a scenario I'm prepared for. There are technical reasons to look for shorts at this level. At the very least, look for a reaction. Because remember what I said, let's back this out just a hair. Let's go back out to the 12-hour. If we can get back, I got my key level at 3190. Long story short, if we claim this level, the odds tell us, the probabilities tell us, the tried and tested, back-tested probabilities tell us this high is not safe, around 48K. So this is something to where, even though I do see a reason for a short, if we were to get some kind of a really large move to the upside, maybe bounce here, come back, reclaim the range, partial rotation, come up. You know, I would be looking to build a short, but you got to realize that this key level would need to be lost with it relatively soon. Like you'd want to see it inside of a week. You start hanging out here, up here, multiple days, 4 or 5 days. I start thinking that we're going to be, again, it's not just going to be a wick through our key level and back down. It's going to be a chance of continuation. So that's the level I'm looking at. It's a large level. I would be treating it like on both sides of this pocket, because you could very easily see something like this. Bam, comes down, nice drop, and then you get the nice trade. So yeah, I would treat this at both sides of the area as separate trades. Down below, again, just looking at this very simplistically, look, just taking all this crap off the charts. I mean, we're rotating between a couple of channels here and here. And one thing that I think everybody's forgotten about is that this SR zone, very clear SR zone, right? We busted through it. And like I told you earlier, if a very important level of interest gets busted through, you're typically going to see a nice reaction when it comes back down. It just so happens it's the bottom of the range. So it would make sense if we do make a dive to get at least a decent bounce, maybe just a partial rotation, but it would make sense to get a decent bounce. And then we do have our old historical range down below. Got to go way back in time for that one, but you can't forget it. That's the thing. When you're talking about high time frame trading, you got to look at the historical data. It may be way off in the distance price-wise, percentage-wise, but if you're prepared for it, you're going to catch it on the day where we get that like 12, 15% just ultra move. You're going to be ready for these levels. That's what, you know, high time frame preparation is for. It's not to, you know, do it just for the sake of doing it, for the I told you so's. It's so you're ready when you get really, really volatile days. You know what you're waiting for. You're not looking at order flow, trying to get every little rotation. You're waiting for these high time frame, high probability levels. That's what we preach at Pro Traders Lounge. That's how we trade.
Definitely.
Let's see what Paul's got going on over here. I think Paul's looking at.
Yeah, so I'm just still watching good old oil and the S&P, and nothing major happening here. You know, I'm just still erring on the bearish side and gonna let this trade continue to run. Can't see any amazing order flow on Bitcoin, but what we do have is we have the lounge session coming up soon, don't we, PC, with Nico? And I'm well aware that we don't want to conflict too much with him. So I think...
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do have the New York session.
The members session live now. So, yeah, I mean, I think Chair Powell stopped speaking now. So I think we should see an end to this volatility. Personally, I don't think we're going to see an awful lot more volatility. Pretty tame, to be fair, for a Fed meeting, I would have said. Nothing on the Bitcoin front, nothing to speak of, really. She's so... That's the word. That one, yeah. She is a bit of a letdown.
It's a letdown today, man. They can't all be winners. They can't all be winners.
Go and have a look for some other assets, or come and see us, and we'll help you find some. So
yeah, I gave you guys a look at a little altcoin trade I'm looking to take today. Some mid and high time frame Bitcoin analysis. A nice level to mark out in NASDAQ. Again, it may take a while to hit there, but it'll give a nice reaction when it hits. And Paul just keeps dropping dimes like a blind bank teller, you know, never stops. But anyhow, I appreciate everyone's time, you know, spending some time with us, letting us share a little bit of information with you all. As a quick reminder to everyone, everything that we discussed was for entertainment and educational purposes only, and all trades discussed were paper trades. So with that, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you guys soon, hopefully in the lounge.
Trade safely. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.